Hi, my name is Ron Wilstein, and I'm a broker at Keller Williams Luxury Homes International in Park City, Utah. Today we're going to look at what's been happening at the Snowflower condominium, specifically looking at the number of sales and where prices have been over the last 12 months. I want to mention at the outset that if you have any particular questions about the Park City real estate market or Snowflower in particular, feel free to send me an email at ron@thewilsteinteam.com. I'm going to try to anticipate most of your questions, but if I miss some, don't hesitate to contact me. And if you would like a call back, include your phone number and a preferred time for me to contact you, and I will be happy to do so. Before we get into the Snowflower market and look at what's been happening with the condominium sales, allow me to take a moment to just do a quick overview of the Park City market. Over the past 12 months, there's been 1,391 sales in Park City. Now this consists of homes, condominiums, and vacant land combined, and this is all real estate brokerages combined. That's up 216 sales, or 18% from the 12-month period the year before. When we break it down into the major categories, you'll notice that home sales have increased from 503 sales up to 582 sales. That's a 16% increase year over year. And we're looking at the period of time from November of 2012 through to October 2013. Condominium sales are also up by 16%, rising from 520 sales up to 603. And then finally, lots or vacant land is up a whopping 36% from 152 sales the year before to 206 sales the past 12 months. But what's been happening in prices? Let's consider this now. What's on the screen before you are a comparison of the year-over-year home medium sold prices. Again, it's the same time period from November 2012 through to October 2013. I've broken this into two main categories: the Park City market area that's within the city limits, and then the Snyderville Basin, which is the county area of Park City. You'll notice that prices for medium home sold prices rose from $1,012,500 up 20% appreciation to $1,216,250. In the Snyderville Basin, we see a 14% increase from a medium sold price of $620,000 up to $709,000. Condominiums also rose in the city limits from $475,000 up to $509,000, a 7% increase. And in the county area, the Snyderville Basin, from $269,950 up 20% to $322,847 for the medium sold price. Lot sales also climbed. In the Park City limits, the medium lot sold price was $500,000 the year before, $550,000 this year, so 10% increase. And then the Snyderville Basin rose from $225,000 to $300,000, which is a 33% increase. So the positive news is that we're seeing the number of sales increasing for homes, condominiums, and vacant land, and we've seen prices increase in every category: homes, condos, and lots inside the city limits as well as outside the city limits. So all very positive news for the Park City real estate market. This chart here looks back to the very height of the market in 2005 when we had 2,989 sales. And again, this is homes, condominiums, and vacant land, all real estate companies together. Then you see that the number of transactions dropped significantly as the bubble burst, if you will, and we had the mortgage crisis. And so it dropped in 2006, 2007, 2008, and then bottomed out in 2009. Then it started to rise, 2010, 2011, 2012, and our data now in this presentation takes you all the way through to the end of October. So we've got 10 months in 2013, and we are expected to surpass the totals from 2012. So we're going to see this bar graph continuing to increase. So overall, the Park City market is very strong, very healthy. Now, let's turn our attention to Snowflower. Year-over-year comparison of number of sales Snowflower went from 1 sale in a 12-month period all the way up to 9 sales. Now that's an 800% increase over last year's number of sales. So that's very positive. Snowflower went from basically non-existent in terms of market activity to quite a bit. So a very positive increase there. The Snowflower condominiums are selling at a pace of 1 sale every 41 days. And I want to talk about absorption rate for just a moment, because absorption rate takes into account, based upon the current inventory of properties on the market, how long, if there's no additional Snowflower units come on the market, should it take for the current inventory to be absorbed. That's the absorption rate. There are currently 5 condos on the market in Snowflower, which, based upon a sale once every 41 days, equates to a 7-month inventory. Sold prices have ranged from $345,000 all the way up to $850,000, making the medium sold price $475,000. Now that's actually a drop by 3% from the previous year's value, and we illustrate it here by this chart. But remember, previous year we had 1 sale. This year we've got 9 sales, and so while this data is accurate, I'm not sure that it really paints an accurate picture of what the market change in terms of prices is when the first year just had a single sale. Now, if you're interested in receiving information on the data that makes up what I've just presented, in other words, the specific units that Snowflower were sold, their sizes, their prices, things like that, send me an email at ron@thewilsteinteam.com, and I would be happy to forward that along to you. Now, I want to take just a moment before we wrap up to let you know how you can get this information about Snowflower, what I'm in effect presenting in this webinar, anytime that you want. First thing that you want to do is you want to bookmark in your computer BuyParkCityRealEstate.com/Snowflower. That's our website. You can also go to thewilsteinteam.com/Snowflower. It'll take you to the same place, and where it will take you to is to this place on our web page. Now I'm going through the home page and I'm going directly to, as you can see, Snowflower Real Estate. What you're seeing here is information about Snowflower. You can tell from this green button here, you can watch a webinar for an update on the Snowflower condominiums. In effect, you'd be watching the most recent webinar that I'm presenting right now. If you go to the maroon button, send me current sales data on Snowflower sales, and you click it, it would take you to this current sales data request page. And all you do here is you put in your name, type a first name and last name into this slot, put your email address in, and from there you can put your address in here, your mailing address. If you're not already on our mailing list receiving my quarterly newsletter, which updates you on the Park City market and a lot of things that are happening, add your address there. Make sure that you get a copy of that. But then you go down to the inquiry criteria. In the subdivision or condominium, simply type in Snowflower, type of property. It's not a house, it's a condo, so go down to condo here. And if you're considering purchasing a property, you might be classified as a buyer. If you're an owner, you're a seller. And below that, in this comment box, feel free to type any comments, questions, anything that you're interested in, and that will come to me by an email. All you do is complete that, click on this submit form button, and that will come to me, and I'll quickly get to you the information you request. So it's automatic. You can do it anytime you want. You don't have to wait for the next webinar to appear. Now, with that in mind, let's just go back to that original Snowflower page. What you see here lower down on the page are the active listings. I mentioned there were 5 active listings currently on the market. There they are. And what you can do is you can either click the view listing or click right on the picture here. And when you do it, it will take you directly to that listing. You'll see a breakdown of the price, the number of bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, and it will start scrolling through pictures of the property, starting with the outside typically, and then going to interior photos, and give you a chance to see what the property looks like. And if you have any inquiries, you can click on this button. You can add it to your favorites and keep track of that on the website. And if you go down lower on the page, you'll get additional information and details about the property. And so all that information is there for you. Finally, I just want to mention that one of the features that a lot of people like on our website is they go to this bird's eye view tab. If you click that, it's going to give you an overhead image of the property. You can see where the building is. There's the tennis court. You can always zoom in and move that around a little bit if you want, and you can of course go out further away and see it from a long distance. A lot of people like that. It gives them a sense of what's around the property, and that's available on the website. So don't be reluctant to take advantage of this anytime you want. See what's happening there at Snowflower. If you happen to own a Snowflower unit and you're curious what your property is worth, whether you're thinking about putting it on the market or you're just curious, send me an email and I would arrange to gain access to the property, give you that information. There's no cost, there's no obligation, but that's a service that we offer. And if you're interested, don't hesitate to take advantage of that. As I wrap up now, I just want to mention to you that every month we present our Park City Market Talk webinar. It's approximately a 20-minute webinar. We update it every month on the second Tuesday of the month, and we include information on the overall market like I discussed briefly at the beginning of this webinar, and then we talk about different topics that seem to be on people's minds based upon the time of year or things happening in the Park City marketplace. So if you want to watch that and get a reminder on a monthly basis, let us know and we're happy to give you that update. Well, that covers it for our webinar on Snowflower. Thank you for watching it. As always, we're here to answer any questions. Don't hesitate to contact us, and have a great day. Bye-bye.